6 months ago, Gen Z-led protests swept across Nepal. The unrest escalated. Violence followed. In a country where half the population is under 30, they marched, they burned, they brought down a government.
This is the motto of our protest, fighting against corruption.
It marked more than political turmoil. It signaled a generational rupture. As the country heads into a pivotal general election, a high-stakes duel for the highest office is unfolding. The traditional political elite versus a youth-led alternative. Can those that ignited a fire now shape what rises after it? The call for change may have begun in the capital, but the results could be decided far from it.
So we've been on the road for about 7 to 8 hours and we've barely covered a distance of 100 kilometers. What used to be a national highway has had parts of it swept off by flash floods that have happened over the last years, and it's still under construction. In fact, we're literally driving on the riverbed right now. And while rural infrastructure development in Nepal is very challenging, its progress has also been halted by systemic corruption. So that's one of the reasons why the leaders or politicians that have come out of the Gen Z protests have decided to leave the cities and fight this election from rural Nepal.
Okay, Didi la. Ujala Nepal.
Kishori Karki is a 26-year-old lawyer from Kathmandu, protester turned politician. Images of her taking an injured demonstrator to a hospital became one of the movement's defining moments.
Namaste सबैजनालाई म चाहिँ किशोरी कार्की अब जेन जी मुभमेन्ट देखि नै म तपाईहरुको माझमा यसरी आए
More than 800,000 new voters have registered. Dozens of new political parties have formed, and younger candidates are stepping forward.
अब ठुला ठुला नेताहरुको पनि हामीले हेर्यौ के गर्नुभयो भनेर अब नयाँलाई नयाँ सोच नयाँ जागर र नयाँ ऊर्जा भएको युवालाई एकचोटी मौका दिनु हुनको लागि म हार्दिक अनुरोध गर्न चाहन्छु.
With big ambitions and even bigger dreams, candidates like Kishori are committed to changing the future of their nation.
I want to do something for my country to make this village very developed, and I want to make the women of my people who are illiterate, I want to give them more knowledge how to raise their own voice, because in many villages they are not compared equal to men.
What will you do if you don't win?
If I lose this election, म चाहिँ आफ्नो जिल्लामै निरन्तर घटिराख्ने छु. As you know, my profession lawyer, and I want to work as a lawyer in my village. As you say, in our country, politics is a very dirty game, and we want to clean it.
Leading local polls as frontrunner for Prime Minister is Balendra Shah, former mayor of Kathmandu. If he wins, it would be a steep rise for a man who began as a rapper and a critic of the establishment.
So we're at Balin's door-to-door campaign, which means he's essentially driving from one village to another. And you can see there's so much excitement for him. There are just people thronging, pulling their phones out. One thing that everybody seems to love to do is take selfies with him.
Balin's open support of the Gen Z protest still resonates with young voters.
अहिले यो फर्स्ट टाइम भोट दिनु लागेको यत्रो के रे त प्रोटेस्टमा जेएनजीको प्रोटेस्टमा कति जनाले ज्यान गुमायो कति आमाहरुको के रे काखरी थियो हैन त्यही कारणले चाहिँ अब उनले पनि राम्रो उयो प्रोसेसहरु गर्छ भनेर बालेनलाई चाहिँ किन भोट दिने भन्दाखेरि अब त केपी शर्मा ओली सर त पुरानो भइसक्नु भयो नि त.
Remarkably, that same KP Sharma Oli, former Prime Minister ousted during the protests, is back fighting the election. At 74, he is more than double the age of Balin.
What would you say, Mr. Oli, to the Gen Z of your country that has been asking for a huge political change of regime?
I know Gen Z. Politically, they want the rule of elected representatives of the people. Economic change. They want prosperity. I am together with them. And they are together with me.
With 20% of the population living in poverty and widening inequality, that message isn't landing, even in his own constituency.
हाम्रो नजरमा त अब युवाहरू आउनुपर्छ किनभने देशको विकास भनेको बुढाहरूले गर्न सक्दैनन् आफै उठ्नु नसक्नेले देश विकास गर्छन् त अब देश विकास गर्न त अलिकति दम चाहिन्छ पावर चाहिन्छ भिजन चाहिन्छ
Balan's vision is one of radical change. Even in campaigning, he's rebuked the traditional press and run his trail almost entirely on social media.
Could I at least have one question, please? How are you? Can I have one question? Thank you.
No, the problem is you cannot take the video.
Okay, it's not an interview. It's just one bite while you're in the campaign. Sure. Okay. I just want to ask you why you're so popular with Gen Z.
Because I work. There were a lot of politicians all over the country for 30, 35 years, 40 years, and people want politicians to work rather than speaking. So we worked in Kathmandu for 4 years, and that's why people like it.
Will you try and meet some of the demands of the Gen Z manifesto?
Yeah, we will. We'll try to meet the demand of every people.
While age alone won't decide the future, this election will test if protests can transform to power at the ballot box.